In the heart of a bustling city stood the Special Police Unit HQ, an imposing building that housed a team of elite officers responsible for keeping the streets safe from the most dangerous criminals. Sergeant Ryan Sledge Cartera, seasoned and tough-as-nails officer, had been with the unit for over a decade. His reputation was built on a history of fast action and even faster decisions, especially when the stakes were high. It was late in the evening when Ryan received an unexpected call. The squad was on routine surveillance at a known criminal hotspot when a group of bikers looking rowdy and aggressive cruised past the unit's headquarters. At first, it seemed harmless, just another group of troublemakers looking to cause some noise. But something felt off. Ryan was at his desk, reviewing reports, when he noticed the bikes slowing down in front of the HQ. He had seen this before, groups of criminals testing boundaries, trying to provoke a response from the police. But Ryan wasn't just any officer. He had a sixth sense when it came to situations like this. "Dispatch, keep an eye on that biker gang outside the HQ," Ryan muttered into his radio, his tone low but commanding. The response came quickly. "Copy that, Sergeant. We've got eyes on them. They're not just passing through." Ryan knew what that meant. The gang had started to slow down, revving their engines in front of the building. The leader, a heavily tattooed man with a scar across his face, was grinning. His crew, rough and scrappy, followed suit, circling the HQ like vultures. Ryan grabbed his jacket and slid into his boots. "I'll take care of this," he said to his partner officer, Maya Lope, a sharp and resourceful officer who had been with him through thick and thin. "Get the backup ready just in case." Ryan stepped out of the building and walked toward the bikers. His posture was unbothered, confident, even as if he were walking into a routine check rather than a potentially volatile situation. The gang leader eyed him closely, his grin widening as Ryan approached. "You, a cop," the leader sneered, revving his engine louder. Ryan's face remained stoic. "I am more than just a cop. I'm the guy who makes sure people like you don't get any ideas." The bikers' laughter echoed into the night air. The leader of the gang, named Cade, revved his bike again, clearly trying to intimidate the officer. "You think you can stop us? There's no one around here to save you." Ryan didn't flinch. "I don't need saving, but you might need a few things if you don't get back on those bikes and leave now." Cade leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "What's a lone cop gonna do, huh? You think you can stop us all?" Ryan's voice was calm, but deadly serious. "You're not dealing with a lone cop. You're dealing with a team that's been through worse. You've already crossed the line." Before Cade could respond, the sound of police cars roaring toward the HQ echoed down the street. Backup had arrived. The bikers were surrounded. They hadn't expected this kind of response from a single officer. Cade's grin faltered as he realized he was no longer in control of the situation. His gang began to look uneasy, their bravado starting to crack. Ryan took a step closer, his eyes locked on Cade's. "You think your noise is going to scare me? I've dealt with worse. I've seen things you wouldn't even dare to imagine." Cade hesitated, the weight of Ryan's words sinking in. The backup units, a combination of seasoned officers and special task force members, fanned out around the bikers, their presence unmistakable. The gang, realizing they were outgunned and outmatched, began to back down. "We'll be back," Cop Cade muttered, his voice thick with frustration. "This isn't over." Ryan didn't flinch as the bikers revved their engines and sped off into the night. His stance remained unbroken. Watching them disappear into the city streets, the backup units returned to their positions, ensuring the gang was gone for good. Mia walked up to Ryan, a smile tugging at the corner of her lips. You handled that pretty well." Sledge, they didn't know what hit him." Ryan simply nodded, his eyes still locked on the darkened street. "Sometimes, the best way to deal with the storm is to let it pass. But you've got to be ready when it gets close." The team returned to their duties, knowing that their leaderian Sledge Carter was always ready to stand in the gap between chaos and order, even if it meant staring down a gang of bikers at their own doorstep. For Ryan, it wasn't about the fight. It was about making sure the people he swore to protect could sleep soundly at night, knowing that someone was watching over them. And tonight, the bikers had learned the hard way. They had messed with the wrong soldier at the wrong time.